It was Hannah's 30th birthday last week, so I decided to take her on a childless trip to Amsterdam for 2 nights and 3 days. We didn't really have anything planned. We just kind of drifted through the streets for hours and hours. We had to bury our heads in our scarves and our hands deep in our pockets because it was just beyond freezing. We also spent most of the day trying not to get run down by all the trams and bikes that seemed to be hell-bent on crippling us. We ate cookies so delicious that I felt like crying when I was eating them. We drifted into cafes and drank peppermint tea and smoked some weed. We ate some truffles and just watched the whole city warp in all kind of wonderful ways. We visited galleries and museums, and we bought a couple of prints. We found a small print shop run by this old man, and we bought a couple of prints off him. And I said to him, "Is there any pieces of art that you would never sell, that you own?" And he said something really romantic. He said, "Yes, there is. My wife." And I just thought that was great. We debated going to a live sex show as well at one point, and I was sort of I kind of backed out of it. I got a bit like, I didn't want to do it because I kind of figured that, I was a bit worried that the guy would have a bigger willy than me, and I didn't want Hannah seeing a guy with a bigger willy than me. And I also got a bit scared that he would know, well, being a professional sex man, he would know the Kama Sutra like the back of his hand. And I was sort of afraid that Hannah would think there's more to all of this sex stuff than lights off, missionary, complete silence. And she'd start thinking the grass was a bit greener. So I didn't want that. But on the second night, I kind of thought, no, sod it. Life's all about creating memories, and we should do this maybe just one time, just to tick a box. And so we went to one. And luckily for me, his penis didn't look like a baby's arm clutching a crab apple. It was a normal size willy, the standard 6-incher. No celebration, but no disappointment. That said, the couple did look like the sort of couple you see queuing for a kebab at 3 a.m. in Dagenham. Yeah, there was nothing arousing about it, put it that way. Looking back over the weekend, I'd say it was one of the fondest memories of my life. As a couple, sometimes with kids, you kind of just like, you start feeling like passing ships because you've got so many commitments and so many things you need to do and responsibilities that you just sort of slowly drift apart. You might spend all day with that person, but it's kind of like you don't feel like you've actually seen them. So I think trips like this are just so important for couples like us because they just peel everything back and bring you back to the core of your relationship, I suppose. It feels like I fell in love with Hannah all over again on this trip because I didn't see her as a mum or a business partner or a wife for a few days. I saw her as that girl who came into my office and sat opposite me 8 years ago, the girl who made me completely breathless.